So it's just me on the sofa today because Marianne's at home, busy working, and Flan is on his favourite blanket just down there, all curled up. It's a follow-on from last week's video, because if you remember, it had a question mark on the header page saying fixed question mark. Well, that went out last Saturday morning, that video. Saturday afternoon I ran the engine for just over half an hour to get some hot water. Because I needed a shower, because I was going down to Basingstoke to see Marianne playing in the Basingstoke Symphony Orchestra, where she's one of the violinists. They had a concert with a guest soloist. But after half an hour I turned on the tap in the bathroom and the water was absolutely freezing. So I went down to the engine room, and once again the engine temperature warning light was on. I really must get that alarm to sound a bit louder because I can't hear it from inside the boat. And there was a hiss of escaping steam. So turned the engine off, pulled up the deck board, and I took a short video, which I'm sure is included in this, showing steam escaping for what looks suspiciously like the same place as last time. Right, I've run the engine for 35 minutes and we seem to have a leak down there. There's nothing gone into the bilge particularly, but that looks suspiciously like the place where the core plug was replaced. So I boiled the kettle to have to spruce myself up for the concert, which was very good, by the way, and then sent a message to the engineer. So Monday morning the engineer was back again, and this time it was a core plug on the main block of the engine rather than the last time, which was on the cylinder head. He said, well, I've got one of those and I suspect it was the one they ordered in error before. So that was fitted, and we checked all the others to make sure nothing else is coming along. So as far as we can tell, it's now okay. And brought a wet and dry hoover in and sucked up all the, well, it wasn't a lot, sucked up the coolant that was in the bilge. I also asked about where I might be able to dispose of the 15 litres of coolant that I had collected and put in bottles, and he kindly said, that's right, throw them on the van, I'll get rid of them for you. So that was fine. The only thing is that while he was there, he said, oh, I noticed there's a bit of a drip on the pipe going into the Calorifier, which is a bit of an odd name, but it's our hot water tank for domestic hot water. Hot water from the engine goes up here and it goes into this green tank. This is called, I'm not sure why, but they're known as calorifiers, but it's actually a hot water tank for my domestic hot water. So when the engine's running, hot coolant from the engine gets pumped through there and it heats up the water. So at the end of a day's cruising, you can always have a nice hot shower. If I'm not cruising, I've got an alternative, which is down here. And this black thing here and the control box next to it, this is my diesel water heater. they heat the water, and if my radiators are turned on, which they're not at the moment because it's got nice and warm, then on those it goes through those grey pipes and pumps hot water out to the radiators. So I have a water tank which holds, I think, 100 gallons or 455 litres under the well deck, just there, and under the steps there. Inside the steps there's all kinds of things, the kindling for the fire, for example, some various tools, but there's also the water pump, and that pumps the water around the boat, and it kept going off, kept burbling away there. And so I did some checks, and sure enough it was definitely leaking. And the water pipes are plastic, as used in building often these days, with snap connectors on them, and I'm not very familiar with them. So yesterday I got the deck boards up yet again, cleared up the water that was in the bilge, then put a few litres of that, watched some videos on how these connectors and couplings would all go together, checked the local supplier, and worked out how I get there, then clambered down into the bilge and had a closer look. And in fact I could see the water was dripping, and it had got to the point where it was dripping maybe 2 drips a second, which is a fair bit. And it was actually coming out of the calorifier. It's in a green insulated jacket. There was this brass pipe with where the plastic pipes were connected to, and a brass nut over the top of it to hold it tight. So I got a spanner out and put it on the nut, and it was loose. So I gave it half a turn tighter to tighten it, and the drip stopped. So I waited, I left the decks open and went and had lunch, whilst keeping an ear open for the water pump, because you can hear it when it runs. And now you can not hear it because it's not running. And it's fixed. So that was a huge relief. I really didn't want to get into pipe work. But next time I'm down there, I might put a dab of something on the nut to stop it working its way loose again, because that must have happened with vibration over the years, I don't know. But anyway, it's fixed, that's the good news, and the engine so far is running. Of course, it ran for 6 hours last time before it failed, so I haven't checked the log. I should have checked the log before I started this. I don't think I've run it for 6 hours yet, since it was fixed on Monday, because we're getting plenty of light now and sunshine for the solar, so we're in good shape for that. So once again, engine fixed? Question mark.